Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. And yeah, it's tax time here in America. If you're a citizen here, your taxes were due today. I remember a couple years ago, it's the first day I could e-file. I had my taxes done and in, so I could get my money back as soon as possible. Now, I've got to pay. I wait to the last minute. I didn't go sign it and mail everything off until today. So it's funny how that thing works. But one of the best pieces of advice my tax attorney gave me, when I started this journey here, was he's like, whatever money you wire out, you need to split it up, put a certain percentage up for taxes. He said start a tax account, put a percentage in for taxes. And you probably want to do some other tax shelter type stuff, retirement accounts, some accounts account for your kids' college, just tax deductible. Just gave me all kind of great information. But that tax account and how to manage it was the smartest thing. Because even though I had to send that money to the IRS, I had money left over. That's like my tax refund. So the extra money, because I put extra money aside throughout the year, I can withdraw it now. And I've got, a nice tax refund. That was the smartest thing that guy, ever told me. And, this would probably be a sad day or a drab day for me, but I'm actually happy. I'm actually celebrating right now. So when you start making some money in this, I recommend you getting with the best tax professional. It doesn't have to be an attorney. It could be a CPA, that really understands the business, and get with them. Make sure they're local, so that they know all the local things too. And you should be straight. Because by law you don't want to take any tax or any financial advice, planning advice, or anything specific advice from anybody other than a licensed professional or somebody that actually knows what they're doing. I can't stress that enough. All right, so let's take a look at what we did today. JNJ was on earnings, and I tweeted out last night the stocks that I was looking at on earnings, but unfortunately the only good ones were well over $100, and I don't have the capital in my small account yet to where I can trade these. So I was kind of stuck just watching. I had nothing to trade in my small account, but I started looking at this JNJ, and it looked just like it did yesterday. It looked kind of just like DVAX did yesterday, where, except for this one was on earnings, we got the pop. It put in a high up here around 133.74, and then it sold off. We couldn't quite get back over here. It just showed, a lot of weakness. We just couldn't push up. And then going into the open, we lost all of the moving averages. Now, I started to short it here. I started to just get in here, because when I do my all-day holds, I like to get in. And this would have been perfect. It would have been perfect getting in here, risking on the high here, and, going with it. But then I saw the 100-day coming in here. I saw the 200 here, red to green here. It was just so much support right here. I was like, well, maybe this thing will, you know, come in here and it'll bounce here and not really work. So I didn't touch it. I waited and waited to the open, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until it goes red, and then I'll short it, you know, for an all-day hold. I'll short and let it and just hold it all day, because I had to do it in my my main account, and I couldn't do it in a small account, and I wanted it to be open so in case we got some opportunities, I could jump on it. Well, what happened, you know, I waited, you know, and I saw this candle here, and I'm like, man, at that point, I was like, I'm glad I waited, because this thing closed back above the 200 and red to green. And then this candle opened, and it looked like we were going to bounce here. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. If we run up here and reject, you know, I'll jump in. And we started selling off. So I thought for a second, and then I went ahead and got in. So a lot worse entry than I really wanted, but it still wasn't bad, because if I wanted to, I could risk off of this. But technically, this is supposed to be the risk here. So you're talking about 2 points from my entry. And my target, my ultimate target, was 128. Now, there was another level down here at 128. You can't see it. And 129 right here was the 20-day from the daily, the 20-day SMA, I think. And, you know, here was just a whole dollar mark. And I really didn't need to take it here. The problem was I was watching this thing. And when you watch it, and that's why I always tell you, don't, if you're getting in this strategy, if you're getting in an all-day hold, you don't watch it. Because if you do, you know, you're probably going to take some off too early, or you'll probably take yourself out of the trade. And that's kind of what happened here. I just kind of, I took some here at 30 when I should have just set it, let it set at 129 and let it hit. And it would have hit. I'd have gotten out half here, would have locked in more profit, and then let the rest go. So in this case, I took off half here, and I took off another quarter. And when I flip to the other chart, you'll see the exit. But, you know, the main thing is I was just a little bit more cautious because of all the support that we had here. Red to green, and the 200 coming in right here, and the 100 day up here. Well, the 100 period. So I was just kind of frozen here, and really thought I made the best decision here, but, you know, it worked out great. So here is, I'll come back to that one. So here's what happened. And like I said, you got to manage this on a 60-minute chart. If you're going to manage it intraday, don't manage it on a 5-minute, because if you do, you're going to do stupid stuff like me and take some off a little bit early. And, you know, like I said, that's what I did. And, you know, got some here. And then finally, here's the 20 from the daily. It was at 129. I just drew the line here so that I know where it was. I had my target here. And then we just kind of recovered all day. As long as we didn't push this, when I looked at this at lunch, we had recovered up to the 100. But as long as we didn't push this, you know, we were good. And we sold back off again. And I thought we were going to get down to 128 by the end of the day. But I had to, this is around the time I had to leave anyway. I have to leave around 2:45 or so to go get my son every day. And it just turned around. It it found some support and it turned around and just had to click it right before close. Right. But still was for profit. We didn't lose anything. But yeah, it would have been more if I'd have clicked it down here. But this wasn't the target. The final target was 128. No, actually it was 127.30. I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I got it mixed up with something else. It was actually 127.30 was the final target. And so, because that made sense that I could risk 4 points. I could risk 2 points to potentially make 4 points. So that's what made the trade make sense. But still a pretty decent profit, 755.33, and very little stress. I love these. I think you can find these every day. The problem comes in having the confidence to take it. So as long as I see something where we set in a high and it tries to push it and it can't, and we start to, roll over under moving averages, and this strong support starts to turn to resistance, it's probably going to sell off all day. Yeah, we may get a pullback, but if you're not watching it and you're not managing it tick for tick, you're going to let it work. So, and, really felt good about this one. But we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow in the Wednesday webinar. After we finish we're going to finish the Think or Swim, and then we'll get into the all-day holds. Now, there is a video under the Wednesday webinars where I covered this before. We're just going to get into a little bit more detail in this. What am I looking for? What am I looking at? And, why do you put the stops where you put them? And the targets. So we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. All right. Now, LUV, like I said, in the small account, there was nothing. We had some earnings that I could have traded at the open, but I couldn't afford it. So I just waited and said, well, maybe we'll get some breaking news. Well, LUV is Southwest Airlines, and by now everybody should have heard the news. Well, I heard the news, and they said that the plane made an emergency landing, that everybody was safe, and all of that. So I felt, hey, it's probably going to drop and then recover. It's going to drop because of, the natural human emotion. People may want to sell it off, and then when they realize everything is fine, it'll get, come back up. So I got it, and I held it and held it and held it, and we got a little move down and held it. And I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. It's probably not going to bounce because it's been an hour since all of this came out. The company, the Southwest Airlines, has made an official statement. And then I guess some more news came out, and it just happened to come out when I was gone. I've got to leave. I'm on the road picking up my son, and this is the move I was looking for over here. But it just, you know, it's just been my luck these last couple weeks. You know, I'm in the right stocks. I'm just not there in the right time. It seems to have its own timetable. And my schedule and the stock schedules just don't coincide. So, you know, ended up only grabbing 39 bucks. This is not what I wanted to do. But the morning, I just couldn't trade anything this morning. I just couldn't. There was nothing in the price range. And I don't trade stocks under $10. So there was just nothing for me. But I am proud. I am pleased that I was patient. I didn't try to force anything. I didn't try to rush anything. And that's what's important. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for me tonight. A little slower day today. Didn't get the big move like yesterday. But, you know, this was actually my trade today. Which you can tell because I didn't make as much money. But it's mine. And I can keep it. So I don't have to put this in nobody's college fund. I can put this in my pocket. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. I'll tweet out again the earnings that I'm looking for or looking at in the morning. So you'll have them ahead of time and the earnings in the afternoon. I missed them because I got back here late again. All three had solid moves and just missed them. You know, if I get back here too late, I'm going to miss earnings, and that's what happened. So it is what it is. Hopefully I'll have better timing tomorrow. All right, see you guys.